Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui, is a remote Chilean island a few thousand kilometers west of South America in the Pacific Ocean. Described as an archaeological Disneyland, the island has entered the popular imagination thanks to the existence of 887 giant monolithic statues called moai, which have intrigued academics since they were discovered by European explorers. Welcome to the Myths and Curiosities channel. Already leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Indeed, the mysteries surrounding Easter Island and its unique culture have piqued the interest of scientists, archaeologists, and now tourists, around 100,000 a year. Due to its gigantic and monumental architecture, the Rapa Nui National Park, which covers more than 40% of the island, was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994. Easter Island is small, isolated, and windswept, offering conditions that make survival difficult. Covering an area of just 163.6 square kilometers, it is located in the vast Pacific Ocean, 3,512 kilometers from the South American coast and 1,900 kilometers from Pitcairn Island. When explorers found the giant moai statues, which are stunning examples of human achievement by any standard, it led to questions about how and why they were created. Archaeologist Jo van Tilburg has studied Easter Island's moai for many years, creating an inventory of all 887 monolithic stone statues found on the island. Of these, 288 statues were transported to sites of Oahu, which were the platforms on which they were erected. 397 were found in the production area of the Reno Raraku volcanic quarry, while 92 were discovered between the two, as if their transport had been abandoned en route. It is very difficult to overstate the mind-boggling impact of these gigantic statues ranging from 1.13 m tall to 21.6 m tall. This moai statue is known as El Gigante. It was found in the Reno Raraku quarry and weighs around 145 to 165 metric tons, 160 to 182 tons. Ahu Kote Riku in the Tahai complex is the only ahu where visitors can see a full 5.1 meter, 16.7 feet, moai. It includes a replica of the red pakeo hat and is the only moai with eyes, made of white coral and obsidian pupils and included in 1990. Meanwhile, the largest vertical moai, known as the paro, stands at 9.9 meters. With an estimated weight of around 74.39 metric tons, 82 tons, it is understandable that so many people have tried to find out how the native Rapa Nui moved the statues from the quarry to their final destinations scattered across the island. Most moai have their backs to the oceans, as if watching over the native Rapa Nui people. The moai statues themselves are representations of humanoid faces and their bodies made of volcanic rock, with a large body and a pakeo hat made of red slag. Most of Easter Island's moai were made from a massive, easy-to-carve volcanic tuff sourced from the Reno Raraku quarry, a fascinating destination primarily due to the many statues that were left behind, providing much-needed clues as to how the statues were made. This kind of factual evidence is the bane of those who somehow believe that Easter Island's heads were created by aliens. The obvious question is who built these massive statues on such a remote island and why were they placed there? Most archaeologists believe that Easter Island was inhabited by Polynesians sometime between 8300 and 1200, with more recent studies favoring a later date of settlement. The oral history of the Rapa Nui states that the island was first colonized by an expedition of 2 canoes led by Chief Hotumotue, originally from Marirenga. Meanwhile, DNA analysis points out that the first settlers are of Polynesian origin, although there is academic debate on this point. However, some experts argue that the settlers may have arrived from South America due to agricultural evidence of sweet potato on the island, which was a staple crop in Polynesia. Easter Island moai statues are believed to represent deified ancestors, chiefs, or other important characters. However, there is no written and oral history on the island, so it is impossible to be sure. But the question is, why are statues so big and heavy? In 2012, the internet suddenly exploded with claims that Easter Island bosses have bodies too. In fact, while tourists often believe that there are only head statues on the island, archaeologists have known that there have been bodies hidden underground since excavations began in 1914, explained Jo van Tilburg, director of the Easter Island Statue Project. These excavations also revealed valuable information about how the statues were moved to their current locations. And this has been an aspect that has preoccupied experts for decades, with theories for this feat of engineering, including the use of sleds, ropes, swinging motions, wooden rollers, and even aliens. While Easter Island's lack of trees is staggering, archaeologists have concluded that it was once covered in trees. When Europeans arrived on the islands, they commented on their arid nature. Upon sighting the Moai, they hypothesized that the island was once home to a large population capable of transporting such enormous statues, few of which remained in the 18th century. The truth is that the Moai are a survival success story whereby the ancient Rapa Nui managed to survive on an inhospitable island. In fact, they conducted research on the Moai and seemed to prove that the statues literally walked to their eventual locations, as described in Rapa Nui folklore. His reenactment, which was filmed for a PBS/Nova documentary, proved that statues can be moved using rope, rocking motion, group effort, and patience. We may never really know what happened on Easter Island. What is certain is that the ancestor cult that created the Moai was replaced by the cult of Birdmen around 1540. According to this belief system, the living were able to contact their ancestors through humans chosen through competition, instead of Moai statues. Catherine Routledge argued that the cult survived until the Rapa Nui converted to Christianity in 1868. Some experts believe that the island was originally called Te Pito o Te Henua, which means navel of the world. It was just named Easter Island, or rather Posh Island, when Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen rediscovered it on Easter Sunday, April 5, 1722, and the name stuck. When Roggeveen arrived, he saw a desolate landscape and a population of just 3,000. His heightened curiosity unfortunately led to an incident that further reduced the population when Roggeveen ordered his men to fire on the crowd. In 1770, Easter Island was visited by two Spanish ships that recorded witnessing the enigmatic stone statues that hovered over the landscape. They were followed in 1774 by British Captain James Cook, who noted that some of the statues had been torn down and that their purpose was to honor former high chiefs. In 1786, a French expedition created maps of the island and illustrations of their time there. Easter Island's history has been fraught with brutal treatment of the native Rapa Nui people, which Hunt and Lippo dubbed genocide. European explorers brought with them diseases such as smallpox and tuberculosis that impacted the population. Then, starting in the 1860s, Peruvian slavers began to invade the island, capturing around 1,500 people for their barbaric trade. Among them were the cacique, his heir, and the few Rapa Nui who could read and write their traditional Rongorongo script, which caused a huge amount of cultural knowledge to be lost forever. Experts have not yet been able to decipher the code of this ancient script. In 1877, there were only 111 Rapa Nui inhabitants on Easter Island, and in 1888, Chile annexed the island. Much of the land was privatized for sheep farming, while others at other times were managed by the Chilean Navy. However, since 2010, the Rapa Nui indigenous people have started a coordinated effort to fight for their rights. In 2017, an important first step for the Rapa Nui natives was taken as they were finally given the management of the Rapa Nui National Park. The Rapa Nui natives have also been working to secure the repatriation of Moai statues, such as an 8-foot basalt Moai statue, which was stolen by English navigators and gifted to Queen Victoria in 1869 and now resides in the British Museum. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me here in the comments what you think. And if you haven't signed up yet, take the opportunity to sign up now and activate the bell. See you in the next video.